Welcome back. Rico, do you remember a time when music used to come in shiny black discs instead of digital files?
Do you mean vinyl records? They were pretty much phased out by the time I started listening to music, but I've seen them in a lot of movies and TV dramas. The signature crackling sound they make before the music plays always evokes a sense of nostalgia.
Well, music on wax is no longer a thing of the past. Vinyl records have made a comeback in recent years, re-emerging as a symbol of taste and quality in the digital age.
Interesting, but isn't it just a hipster trend, or is there something more to it?
Great question, Rico. To find out, we sent a crew to a place where musical magic happens, a vinyl pressing plant run by a Hong Kong company.
With streaming becoming the dominant form of music consumption, many of us have grown accustomed to skipping songs or listening to our favorite tunes on repeat at our whim. So who could have imagined that an old-school format like vinyl would regain its groove and turn the tables on digital music?
This is a mastering machine，就係做呢個 CD、DVD 嗰個 master。
Joshua Chan manages a Hong Kong company that started out as a CD manufacturer. The business has since expanded to include a vinyl pressing plant established in Panyu.
The vinyl sound is analog by nature. It is a continuous waveform with some subtle distortions. So actually it's very close to human voices and our natural sound, which we experience in our daily lives. Comparing to digital music, the digital music is much cleaner and more precise, and is more capable of delivering a music with bigger dynamics and also with higher and lower frequencies.
For those who have never listened to a vinyl, the manufacturing process must be an even bigger mystery. Let's visit Joshua's factory to see how tracks are pressed on wax.
How's the setup? Does it require longer time to set up? A bit longer than the manual press.
CK is Joshua's trusted partner at the pressing plant. With a background in mechanical engineering, he's also the resident expert.
Our client provides the music source to us is for CD. So we need to make it suitable for vinyl record, especially for the low frequency and high frequency, to avoid the playback jumping and high frequency distortion. The next step is lacquer mastering. This is a process to convert the music file to a record master. The amplified analog signal will be drive the cutter head. The analog signal will be converted to mechanical signal, and this signal will be engraved into the surface of this lacquer. Here is the lacquer master. After the cutting process, we will use it to make a metal stamper for pressing process. Our operator will load the stamper to the pressing machine. Before pressing, we need to prepare a male PVC biscuit. Our operator will pick the hot PVC biscuit together with two record labels into the pressing chamber, then apply hot steam, high pressure, and then pressing.
Considering vinyl pressing technology is almost a century old, mastering the manufacturing process and mass production should be a walk in the park. However, a bumpy road lay ahead for Joshua and CK.
We had a hard time at the beginning of making a vinyl record. At that time, even for production equipment, raw material, production technique, so we need to develop by ourselves.
This is the first record coming out from the CK machine.
The noise level is very high, many click and pop sound. Okay. I think it's because of the raw material and the stamper making is not very good.
Making a mass production, let's say on CD, Really, I mean, every piece is the same. But making vinyl is different because the publisher of the music, they had some idea about what the music is like. It's come out from the artistic articulation of the music. We cannot just go through a normal standardized production procedures to crank a vinyl out to them. We have to understand their need, their emphasis. It's a custom-made process. It's an art more than a piece of product.
In addition to offering a distinctive listening experience, vinyl records also embody the craftsmanship and expertise of the manufacturers. This is perhaps what makes the medium a timeless classic that hits all the right notes.
The resurgence of vinyl records drove global sales to 44 million units last year. Many of them were pressed by the Hong Kong company featured in the clip we just saw. It's the top vinyl record manufacturer in Asia in terms of volume.
Within just a few years, they went from knowing nothing about the manufacturing process to pressing records for Hong Kong's mainstream and indie musicians, and even international superstars such as Taylor Swift and BTS. We have invited the company's managing director, Mr. Joshua Chan, to share the success story with us. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me here.
So Joshua, I know that your company specializes in CD making. So when did you start looking into vinyl manufacturing?
We actually start our business in CD manufacturing in Hong Kong in 1997. We chose to serve the IT industry, education publishing, as well as the entertainment industries. We had a good time at that moment with 10 years growing in a double digit. And it was until 2010, during one of my visits to Apple as in San Jose, I met Steve Jobs' assistant, and he told me that, Josh, you got to be careful because my boss is going to phase out the CD in the iMac, in all the iPod and everything. So I was shocked. And then actually, this is the turning point. I saw the rise of the internet streaming as well as the mobile phone, smartphone revolution gradually eat up the demand of the optical media. And since then, our business started to decline year after year without stop. So we worry, and then we got to find a way to diversify.
So Joshua, what prompted you and your team to explore this avenue, and what was the market for vinyl records or music in general like at the time?
It was actually my son who rang the bell for me.
Oh.
As I remember, in 2015, one evening, my teenage son came home and he bought a LP and showed me this. But he wanted me to buy a vinyl player for him, and so I just refused him as usual.
He's actually being smart.
Yeah, but he was not happy, of course, and then he teased me and said, Dad, I thought you are in the media industry, and how come you didn't know vinyl is back in 2010 in US and Europe? They record double-digit growth for 5 years. But Asia was very much behind. And there was only one pressing plant in Japan at that time. Looks like there's a huge opportunity for someone to restart the vinyl pressing in Asia to serve this underserved market.
Now, seeing this opportunity, what kind of strategy did your company adopt to break into the market?
So my take is to be the pioneer is my main strategy. We got to set up the plan as soon as we can. Second strategy is based on location, because to set up in China is you can serve the domestic market as well as exporting to the rest of Asia there. Already, we've got a manufacturing plant in Guangzhou, so it's a definite advantage. We've got a Press and Publication Authority license too, so we can manufacture vinyl as well. Secondly, we have a crew that is well trained for a couple of years, and they are young and energetic and willing to learn. And thirdly, we have a very experienced Hong Kong international team that we can be well connected to overseas customers.
Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine that learning a whole new set of techniques from scratch obviously come with a lot of challenges. For example, there's his machinery problems that you mentioned in the video earlier. So what other challenges have you and your team encountered so far, and how did you overcome them?
Stamper making is one of the process of making the vinyl. It's critical to control the sound quality as well as the background noises. We visited a few reputable plants there, and everyone is trying to keep the recipe confidential. And then we come back and do a lot of trial and error ourselves. We pay a lot of school fee, and then we come up with our own formula. What I can assure you is that making vinyl is not like a commodity. It's actually a craft. So there's a lot of many other factors we have to overcome.
I'm just curious to know, like, how would you rate what is a good record, a vinyl record, to you?
It must be defined by the customers themselves. And different customers have different expectations. What we are trying to achieve is to try to adhere to the original concept of the musician or the producer. What kind of effect, what kind of sound they want to emphasize and want to deliver to the audience.
And I wonder, how did things pan out after you commenced operations? Did the market develop the way you had expected?
We had a humble start again with only 2 manual lines, only pressing 1,000 LP per day in a 24 hours 2-shift basis. Now we can produce 10,000 LP per day. So it's almost 10 times in 7 years. I'm seeing more and more music companies from different market segments adopting the vinyl as the default format for their products, because more and more people have already installed the vinyl facility at home. And thanks for the COVID period, I think nobody can go out. So more and more people buying a lot of stuff at home to enjoy the music. The third dimension actually comes from the geographical expansion. We start from China and then Hong Kong, Taiwan. And the year after, we went up to Japan and Korea. So we've got all the K-pops and J-pops. And lately, even the Russia and Middle East countries have also come to us for pressing.
So your company receives orders from all over the world. So what do you think led to the vinyl revival, and what kind of people listen to these records?
Vinyl's revival is a counterculture to the everything fast-moving, artificial, and also virtual reality trending world. Music publishers, they need something tangible to sell to the end users to pay for the music, rather than allowing them to listen to the music anytime, anywhere, free. I still remember when I went to US, I was going into a studio there, and the manager showed me how they craft up the cutting. And then the music played was a Chopin piano. I was shocked. I was deeply moved because that was the old sound that I missed when I was a child, listening to that Chopin piece at the library. The old people or mature people would like this sound as a collection of their old memory, like meeting up their old girlfriends. Yeah.
Interesting.
Of course, the hi-fi fans, they have a very particular taste on the vinyl's analog sound. They don't like the highly compressed sound from the digital media.
It's more of like an art piece now. So I think it's like an opposite option against the digital, kind of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Definitely. So let's talk about how we listen to music nowadays. So having grown used to skipping tracks and listening to music on repeat or shuffle, how can we learn to enjoy the vinyl experience, which is quite passive and slow in comparison?
Listening to vinyl is definitely a slow motion process, but it's not passive. At first, he has to pick up the vinyl from the shelf, and he may be gazing at the artistic presentation on the vinyl jacket, carefully unwrap it, and then pull out the vinyl, holding it on the edge without touching the groove, and then put it onto the turntable, switch on, and put the needle onto the right part, then find the best position to appreciate the music. So the whole process is like a ceremony.
Sort of like symbolizes slow living nowadays. You know how everyone is so busy now? So listening to a vinyl record would be learning how to take things slowly. Can you
Some
say
people
that?
even told me that listening to vinyl is therapeutic for them.
Definitely.
While we're still seeing growth in vinyl record sales, online streaming is still the dominant mode of music consumption at the moment. So how do you foresee the future development of the vinyl music industry?
Yeah, some people are still skeptical about vinyl. They think that's only fashion. It will not last very long. I'm seeing that the world is going for more for AI, and you're going to see more faster, speedy delivery of streaming. For all this high-tech development, I am actually seeing a back workforce that pushing people to come back to the human nature, their lack of human touch. Because human touch can trigger humans' emotion, which could be stored very deeply in the subconscious level. Actually, I'm seeing more and more products coming back for these similar reasons. For example, for photographers still using films, the one is cassette. It's coming, and we are doing it now. And who knows, in 20 years, CD could become a vintage item again. Yeah, I'm hoping that because we are want to be the last man stand in the industry, we want to have the privilege to witness this kind of circle game coming back again.
Happy to hear this perspective from you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua, for telling us all about vinyl culture and manufacturing.